This is Shelley Craft coming to you live on SNN Live. We're at the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium 2017 in Vancouver. I have with me Brett Heath from Metalla Royalty and Streaming Limited. It's a publicly traded company and the symbol is MTA on the CSE and EXCFF on the OTC markets in the U.S. Welcome to SNN Live.
Shelley, thanks for having me.
It's good to have you. Let's get started. Let's get an overview on the company and we'll go from there.
Yeah, so what we are is a royalty and streaming company, and what royalty and streaming companies are is we own interests in mining operations, primarily for us, gold and silver, and we own these interests via two structures. First is a royalty, and the second is a streaming structure.
What made you go into this?
Decided to go into this because, historically this has been one of the best performing sectors through bull markets and bear markets. And, we found it's been really, a great way for investors to get exposure to precious metals.
So let me just see if I can organize it for our investor audience. So you take an investor pool and you invest it where you see fit, with the return being royalty or streamed profits, correct?
Yeah, correct. So what we'll do is we'll either we'll originate or acquire an existing royalty and stream. And what these are is it's just really a percentage of what's produced from the mine. For example, 100,000 ounce gold producer annually, if we have a 1% royalty, we get 1,000 ounces a year. And that gives our shareholders leverage to gold and silver. So far, over the 10 months that we've been had this business going, we've been able to make 6 acquisitions for 19 royalties and 2 streams, 3 of which are in production, 3 material development assets.
So what is the criteria that you use to choose which companies to invest in?
Yeah, so this is a big part of our business and the reason why we've been so successful to date. What we do is we focus on transactions that are of asset value, usually between about $2 and $10 million. And the reason why we do this is because there's far less competition in this part of the market than there is with the bigger companies on the larger transactions. And what we've seen is the larger end of the market, the $100+ million transactions, become very competitive. And where all these companies became so successful is what we're doing right now on the smaller end, which gives us a much better internal rate of return on the deals that we do compared to the rest of the sector.
How do you avoid risk?
Yes, so this is also another important aspect of our company. So because we're a smaller company, we have to make better risk-adjusted investments. We focus on 2 things primarily, or avoiding or focus as well. The first is we focus on producing assets. And the reason we focus on producing assets is because we have all that information. Traditionally the royalty and streaming companies will provide capital on greenfield assets. And these greenfield assets have a lot of risk because you just don't fully understand what's going on until you really get into it. And by focusing on assets that are in production, we have all that information. So that's one way we feel we make better risk-adjusted investments. The second is we don't over-lever the companies, our counterparties, if you will. So we want to be, a great deal for us is taking 1 to 2 to maybe 3% of the overall revenue from that operation. And we feel that the streaming and the royalty structure fits best within those companies' capital structures.
What's your background?
So I've been doing royalties and streaming for the last about 4 or 5 years. Prior to that, I was in fund management background. Before that is economics and finance.
Let's get your website out there for more information.
Yes, it's www.metallaroyalty.com, METALLA royalty.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, Brett Heath Metalla Royalty and Streaming Limited. It's a publicly traded company. The symbol is MTA on the CSE and EXCFF on the OTC in the US. I'm Shelley Kraft. This is SNN Live, and we're coming to you live from the Sprott Natural Resource Symposium 2017 here in Vancouver. Brett, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.